welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 199. We're almost there. We are one episode away from episode 200. But we gotta get through 199 first. I'm Mox Bornigan. I have with me, as always, it's my angel.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted? Okay, well, lucky for you, we have I don't want to say a short show, but a shorter show, as Sawyer adds his 2 cents in. Let's see here. So first off, let's kind of talk about what the Ball and Chain Podcast is. Amanda, it's my angel. What is the Ball and Chain Podcast?
It's where you make me sit here and talk to you in front of lots of other people about random stuff. No, it started, I don't know, 9 years ago when we were engaged.
It's been a hot minute.
I want to say it was when we were, right before we got married. As a podcast talking about gaming for couples. We've kind of evolved it since then. And we talk about lots of just entertainment stuff in general.
Right. So we talk about video games, movies, music. Well, not really music so much. Comic books, TV, whole bunch of good stuff. Life. The meaning of life. No. So we've got a pretty big show planned for today. But before we get into our top 3, I wanted to first thank everybody who's watching in Twitch at twitch.tv/BC Podcast, as well as, what's up?
I'm going to probably have to take a little hiatus here in just a minute. Someone just...
Oh, okay. I'd also like to thank the people that are watching on Facebook Live right now. Really appreciate that. We've got a new cell phone holder, so now my cell phone will not hit the floor like it almost did 2 episodes ago, which was terrifying. So now it's on there. It's not moving. But yeah, so the people who are watching on Twitch, the people who are watching on Facebook Live, but I also want to thank the people that are watching in the future on YouTube.com. Yeah, because we record our shows and then we upload them to YouTube so people can watch them at their leisure. So we want to say thank you to those people because they haven't watched it yet, but they're watching it right now. I mean, right now. Now they're still watching it now. Anyway, well, they might not be watching it right now, but anyway, you go to youtube.com/72DPI online. That is our YouTube channel. That is where all of our archive shows are. That's where we've got a couple of different series up there. And we've got some new series going up. So, yeah, make sure if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe, leave a comment. Pretty much anything you can do to tell other people that, hey, we're over here and this is what we like. And you like the stuff that we're doing. So, yeah. So head over to youtube.com/72DPI online. We really do appreciate it. So let's go down our top 3 for this week. Number 3 is going to be Westworld. We're going to catch up to Westworld, and
I'll be right back.
You'll be right back. Duty calls, literally, duty calls. All right. So number 3 is going to be Westworld. Number 2, I can count. Number 2 is going to be the Walking Dead episode that we had last Sunday. And then number 1 is going to be our top 5 items for Black Friday. We've got Black Friday deals finally going live. We're going to talk about kind of our favorite and what we would put together as far as our top 5 goes if money was not an object. So yeah, Angel had to step away for Sawyer for just a brief moment. So we'll have a moment of silence as you deal with this diaper. So anyway, I guess I can kind of talk about what I did today. I got started working on cleaning out the garage because I want to do a couple new series for the YouTube channel. One of which is going to be a 72 DPI do-it-yourself series, and yeah. So we're gonna have some do-it-yourself episodes, and just I guess it's not really like it's not going to be a podcast or anything like that. It's going to be like a pre-recorded show. It's not going to be like a weekly thing. It's just going to be whenever they come up or whatnot, or whenever there's a task that I would like to complete. I can tell you the first episode, I believe, is probably going to be our tabletop for our dining room table. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We're going to basically design a custom-made tabletop to go over our dining room table. So when we have like game night and stuff like that, it's more tuned. The table's more tuned for that type of use, as opposed to a dining room table, which has no edges, so dice kind of roll off. And if you've got people that have drinks and stuff like that, you can't. You can't have drinks and cardboard. They just don't mix. So this is going to be another way, a way that we can have the dining room table, but also when it's game night, we can pull this tabletop out and put it on top of it. So it's going through quite a few different design processes to make sure it's modular, to make sure that it it can pull apart and we can store it easily, and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we got the garage cleaned out, mostly cleaned out. That's going to be where we do a lot of those do-it-yourself videos. So that's going to be that. What else did I do this week? Started cleaning out the other side of the other side of the basement, because if you can hear my PC behind my monitors over here, it's you might not be able to, but I can, and I find it annoying. So we're going to put the PC on the other side of the wall, and that's going to alleviate a lot of that noise. I think the YouTube channel, or not the YouTube channel, the Facebook Live can probably hear my computer. That's probably the one that can. We've got the microphones, I think, pretty much set up to where they don't pick up that sound, but we'll see. How you doing over there, hon? Okay. You had to work on the other end? Both ends? Okay. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I know. Babies do not run on podcast schedule. Well, do you want me to go ahead and talk about do you have a list of things for Black Friday? No? Okay. Well, I do. So what's the website you use? bfads.net. And this is not best friend ads, it's Black Friday ads.net. It's a great website. It gets updated on a regular basis. It's yes. There you go. I got your chair. There we go. All right. You're back.
I am back.
All right. So, tell you what. Well, do you want to wait to do the Black Friday stuff?
Sorry.
All right. So the Black Friday ads are on bfads.net. This website I'm really impressed with. I wouldn't recommend a website unless I wouldn't send you guys to a website unless I recommended it. It's just nice because it's got all the different outlets. It has all the different brick and mortar stores. It also puts up here some online stores. So like Newegg is up there, which is an online only. So they're up there, which is nice. And it's just
All in one place.
It's all in one place. You can see the ads right there that they send out. Is it searchable? I don't know if it's searchable. I guess you can search it. No, you cannot. This is going to search Amazon sales. So I guess that would be the next thing that I would want them to have is like have a search menu inside of the ads. That way you could say, I'm looking for TVs. And it would pull up all the different TVs that are available and stuff like that. So anyway, my top 5 list. If money was no object, if I had, let's see here, 15, 8, 950. If I had $2,000, I could buy my top 5. So my number 5 is there on. I think it was on Newegg. there's a Polk Audio subwoofer, 12-inch subwoofer for $170 to kind of finish out my surround sound setup over there. I've got everything but the subwoofer. So I figure $170 for a 12-inch, and it's Polk Audio, so that's not really, it's not the worst, it's not the best, but it's kind of like, that mid to high tier range, 12-inch subwoofer, which is a nice size. My number 4, also from Newegg, is a new keyboard. This is a $140 keyboard from Corsair. It's their K70 Rapid Fire. It's a mechanical keyboard that has LED lights behind it, so you can change the colors of the lights behind your keyboard. Would really enjoy that. It's not wireless, but it does have a nice length of cord. So if you've got a PC that's like mine's about to be on the other side of the wall, it will accommodate that. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, okay.
I'm ready with what?
I didn't know if you were going to have any or.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
kind of distracted and.
Gotcha. So number 3 is from Best Buy. They're going to have GoPro Hero 5s on sale for $399. During the summer we do a lot of. It's all right. During the summer.
Oh man, what is the problem?
You good?
I don't know. He's just fussing.
You're just fussing. Oh, little boy. It's okay.
He's too hot under that blanket.
Yeah. That's all right. So anyway, during the summer we do a lot of like water sports and things like that. So having the GoPro like attached to the back of the boat would be pretty sweet to have. Catches the actions as it goes. I think last year we did a lot of Facebook Live and stuff like that, and that was a big hit. But this is a good way to like actually record and nice resolution, really good frame rate. So I don't know, I would be down for that. Then my top 2, Best Buy also is going to have a good deal on 3DSs. I haven't had the last Game Boy I had was the original DS. So.
You may be doing this show yourself.
Yep. So, all right. Well, Angel's going to step away for a brief second. It's okay, Sawyer. We still love you, buddy. We won't put you out in the garage. I promise. And then the last thing on my list, my top 5 list for Black Friday, if money was no object, would be a 65-inch 4K TV. Looks like there was a Samsung one from Best Buy for just under $1,500, which isn't too bad if you think about where LED TVs and LCD flat panel TVs have come. I think when did we buy ours, hon? When did we buy our flat screen? It was Halo 2, wasn't it? Halo 3? You're right, it was Halo 3. So how long ago was that? Halo 3 launch. 2005? 2007. Yeah, so we purchased our last TV. Well, I guess I don't want to say last TV. Our main TV back in 2007. When just before Halo 3 launched. So I think it's time to upgrade. Spending another $1,500 pretty much every 10 years, that's not a bad deal, right? No, wait, no, you're right, that is not a bad deal. She said no, it's not a bad deal. So I'm assuming that's a yes, we can buy it. All right, well, anyway. So that's my top 5. So we'll just kind of move right along, as we always do. Let's talk about. I really want you to talk about Westworld. Let's talk about Walking Dead. Maybe Sawyer will cooperate and let Angel come back for our Westworld conversation. So The Walking Dead. Was this the first episode we had Rick back? Yeah. Yeah, this was the first episode. So we had Rick back. So we had the premiere or whatever. We got to see the group, and then the last two episodes have been split off between a couple other Carolyn Morgan, and then we saw Dwight and Daryl, kind of centric episodes, and then this episode was the first episode where we were back in Alexandria, and we see people kind of living out their daily life. They're still kind of shook up from what happened, and then this episode we actually see Negan make his first appearance at Alexandria. Basically, the way Negan and the Saviors work is once you are, under their thumb, so to speak, you basically offer up goods or whatever or people to sort of, to kind of satisfy Negan and his group or whatever. Usually, it has to do with like foods and goods and things like that, weapons. But this is the first time that Negan's been to Alexandria. And when he comes in, he's first thing he says is, "Wow, you guys have got it really good here, and that's going to make this hard." So he basically takes all their stuff. He doesn't take all their stuff. He's like, "I'm going to take half your stuff," and then he like kind of lets his mob go through and claim what's theirs, and all that good stuff. The first confrontation that we see, or one of the main confrontations that we see, is Carl basically fire. Did he fire his? I think he did fire his gun because that's kind of what gained everyone's attention. Basically fired a warning shot at one of Negan's guys because he wasn't really happy about getting half of his shit taken. So Negan and the group finally come together, and they're all in this one room. Rick's there. Rick's trying to calm. He's trying to calm Carl down, telling him to put the gun down, let him go. This is what they're gonna do. Just kind of go with the flow. And basically, Carl, finally comes down off of his high horse and comes to terms with what's actually happening. And then there's a conversation between Rick and Negan talking about how Rick's group attacked their one base. Was it a satellite base? Is there a transmission or some sort? What kind of base was that, Hun? Do you remember? I think it was like a TV broadcasting, or it was something. It had some huge satellites or something like that. It was some type of broadcasting center or something like that. But anyway, Rick's group last season had gone through and cleared out the whole compound or whatever, taking all their guns and killing all their people and whatnot. And so Negan knew, like, if you've taken all of our guns and you had enough guns to overthrow that place, so you must have a buttload of guns. He's like, they're all mine now. So the whole episode, they're going through and pulling out the guns, and I can't remember the one girl's name that was in charge of the basically the list of all the guns, like the inventory of all the guns. There were two guns missing off that list, and Negan wouldn't let them go. There were two handguns. I don't remember exactly which ones they were, but they were two handguns, very minimal clips or bullet. What's that? A Glock and something else. It's almost like a 6-shooter or something like that. It wasn't like a huge. They didn't have like sniper rifles or anything like that missing. There's two handguns, but anyway, Negan wouldn't let it go. So you have he was basically threatening Rick and saying, hey, whose fault is this? Who's going to take the blame? And he's like, no one's to blame. We'll find them. It's just two handguns. They're just basically pleading his case. And essentially what Negan thought, is like, okay, well, if you're not going to say it, I'm just going to kill her. I don't like killing women, but someone's going to have to step up to the plate or whatever. And so he's like, give us some time, we'll find them. So they, spent half the episode looking for them, which the guns end up being in Spencer's apartment house thingy or whatever, with also food and liquor and stuff like that kind of stowed away. So it's more coincidence. Yeah, exactly. So basically, you have Rick is kind of like torn between like, you know, beating the shit out of Spencer and like, you know, and just trying to keep it together. But after they leave or whatever, no, he goes to the exit of Alexandria. Rick, and the entire time Rick is carrying around. If this is kind of an interesting, kind of like a slap in the face. Negan gives Lucille to Rick this whole time. So this whole time, Negan's walking around with his back turned to Rick and kind of just like egging him on, just trying to get him to, take a swing or, make some type of aggressive move or something like that. And you've got to think that, Negan's already got his bases covered. So, imagine going into Alexandria, he's got like 2 or 3 people with, some type of weapon watching his back, keeping an eye on Rick. He knows this game plan. He's like, I'm going to test Rick because that's what he does. He tests anybody. Basically, if you talk to Negan, it's a test. And that's how fucked up this dude's mind works. But anyway, talking to his group, he probably went in saying, hey, look, I'm going to give him Lucille. I want you to keep an eye on him. If he makes any sudden movement, put him down. Or something like that. I imagine that's kind of how that went. But Rick, while he did have a pretty good grasp on Lucille from time to time, and you could, it did superimposed on his grip or whatever. I think the one time they were talking about Maggie, to which they lied to Negan, so that's probably not going to end up very well for Rick's group. If that comes around and bites him in the ass, that's probably not going to be a good thing. But the other time, there was a couple other times where he was really kind of had a real firm grasp on Lucille. But at the very end, Negan grabs, picks Lucille back and, leans in and basically says, a slap in the face, like, I pretty much stuck my dick down your throat and you thanked me for it. So just in case you didn't see that, so it's just one of those things where this character, I really enjoy this character just because of like kind of the comic relief. He almost has like the same sense of humor as Abraham had. And I'm wondering if they didn't want that kind of competition between the two of them, that if that was one of the reasons they took Abraham down at the beginning of the season. I don't know. It's one of those things where you have to see the character and see like how he interacts with different members of Rick's group. But I feel like his comic relief and Abraham's would have collided a little bit and maybe created some type of, I don't know, just tension, I guess. You think it would have got lost on the audience? I think Amanda might be sleeping. I'm not. But anyway, guys. It's a good episode. If you haven't seen it yet, I apologize. I just spoiled the shit out of it for you. But anyway, you guys know we'll probably be talking about Walking Dead every week. So anyway, it's a good episode. Highly recommend it. So basically, they ended the episode with Alexandria having no weapons. Although, what's the one chick's name that went out with Spencer? Rosita. She actually took down a walker that had a handgun but didn't have any bullets. And they finished the episode with her standing at Eugene's doorstep saying, I need you to make me some bullets. And this is kind of like, I was hoping they would pay homage to this and go back to it. But before the Saviors came into play, or were a prominent player in the series, Eugene had found a way, or basically a weapons manufacturer, like building or some sort of manufacturing line where he could create bullets. And he's like, you know what, this is my purpose, and I feel like I can contribute this way, and really kind of took ownership for it. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome, because I really didn't care for this character too much, and like, he really is kind of, when we first met him, he kind of played, he played the whole group for a fool, and turns out he's just trying to survive. And while it was cunning and creative and stuff like that, I really didn't think the character had like anything to provide to the group. He was more just a strain, kind of like a common person. But this would be huge for him if he can create create bullets and ammunition for them. This would give them reason to go outside of Alexandria's walls again, because they have to find weapons, and then have Eugene and turn around and forge bullets for these weapons. So he could become a major player in our group. So definitely looking forward to that going into the next couple of episodes. So let's talk about Westworld. I really don't want to spoil too much of it, but let's just say that in this last episode that we just had, there is a huge turn of events. What do you think, Hun? Should we go into it? Okay, so there's going to be some spoilers. So if you haven't watched Westworld yet, the newest episode, or you haven't watched the series, or you're planning on it, this is where you can kind of tune out. Really do appreciate you watching. Head over to 72DPI, youtube.com/72DPI online to catch our past episodes. But you can, kind of mute your headphones from here on out for a little bit. But anyway, so Westworld, we haven't really talked too much about in the past couple episodes, but kind of catch everybody up to speed. The last couple episodes, we've gone back and forth, and we think it's a time shift. We think the Man in Black is, and I cannot remember the dude's name. Oh, I'm horrible with William. Is it William? IMDb. Let's see. We think that the man in Black is William. I think his name is William. Westworld. Whoops. Helps if I spelled world correctly. There we go. Only because you don't see the same characters when you see these two groups, right? We're finally seeing the interaction between him and I cannot remember any of these people's names. This is horrible, hon. This is why I need you here. God. Dolores. Oh my God. So you finally start to see like some connection between the two of them. So Dolores is a cyborg from the park, and William. Let's see. Is he William? Where is he? Lawrence? Not Lawrence. Yeah, it is William. You're right. Jimmy Simpson plays William. So you're starting to see, some connection between this William and Dolores, which he was very resilient and very kind of standoffish at first, because this is his honeymoon, not his honeymoon. This is his bachelor party type of thing or whatever, where his future brother-in-law is taking him to this thing, to this park, and the company that he works for is planning on buying some major shares in the park or something like that. It's going to basically invest a ton of money, and this is kind of like their whole, you should really check this out. And his future brother-in-law has been there multiple times. But needless to say, the two have broken apart. The party has been split. So Dolores and William are on a train, traveling with some very explosive substance that's not it's not looking good for them. But anyway, then his other partner, what was his other partner's name? Hector? I think it's Hector. Yeah, Hector. I think it's Hector. Yeah, Hector. He was captured by one of the parties in the Westworld theme park. The Confederados. So the interesting thing about this series and kind of what they hammered home at the very beginning in the very first couple episodes, if you stay in town, the risk is very little, and the reward is very little, but you're really safe, and you kind of can go on these little adventures and things like that. But our party has broken away, and they are way outside of the normal theme park, and kind of like gone off on their own. And they've been warned, and this is kind of where things get a little bit more intense, and the experience is a little bit more elevated. I'm kind of curious. I mean, the cyborgs and the robots are programmed not to hurt humans or not to kill humans, but they were beating the shit out of that guy, out of Hector, when we last saw him. So I'm kind of curious to see A, what happens to him, and B, where he comes back in with William and into the storyline. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets lost or something like that. I don't know. But I'm really curious to see what'll happen. But the huge spoiler that happened this episode, this most recent episode, was Bernard. Bernard is revealed to be one of the hosts. So I can remember that it's hosts, not cyborgs, not robots. You're good. Sit straight down. There you go. But he's revealed as one of the hosts, and not only is he revealed as one of the hosts, the board that is in charge of this theme park now knows of the mistakes that have been made recently, where the hosts are revolting and are able to kill, are able to harm the guests and things like that.
Yeah, they're remembering some of the previous lives they've had. They're supposed to have their memories wiped at the end of each evening. But Ford, who's played by Anthony Hopkins, who is kind of the owner,
one of the original partners,
creator of this park, has created this thing called a reverie. He thought it would make the hosts seem more realistic if they had
some type of recollection,
kind of little memory. So just a little gesture, hand gesture, or something that might have been created from a past memory, which they're finding that within that, it's causing them to remember more than what they want them to, allowing them to essentially hold grudges against people who may have been in former storylines or their current storyline that have killed them.
Right. Well, and
they kind of go off their track, and
the other thing that it kind of triggers too, and it's not just, I don't think it's just like the memories, it's triggering like aggression, like the one barmaid that they have in this episode, which, by the way, when they captured her, they made all the hosts freeze, and the one barmaid was clearly not. She's she's self-aware. She knows what's going on. She's been back to the lab and back and forth several times. So when they had everybody freeze and she was still able to move, I'm like, oh, well, that's not a good sign. But anyway, they captured the one barmaid who has never shown any aggression, and they change the different aspects of each individual host. But I wonder if it triggers some type of aggression within them,
well, but he beat the crap out of her.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, she wouldn't normally retaliate, I don't think.
Right, but
since he,
she remembered getting beat by him and was like, "Hey, I need to beat you first."
Right, exactly. And then she kills him. And then does she kill the other? No, the other guy puts her down with the, shot to the chest or whatever.
And then they give her a lobotomy.
Right through the nose.
Yep.
But
anyway, you kind of got off track there.
Yeah, so Bernard. So the whole Bernard thing with, let's see here.
I don't know who Bernard is. He is one of the, in the
He's
behavioral, he works for the,
I think it was behavioral design or something like that.
Yeah, so he basically helps to code the behaviors for the hosts.
He like rolls the characters.
He thinks he's a human. Everybody thinks he's a human.
Oh yeah.
He's got a great backstory of a wife. You see him talking to his wife.
Right, which is
child.
kind of odd. But that might be just to kind of trick.
And it may have been a dream.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they do have little dreams, even though they said they're not supposed to have dreams. It seems like they do kind of have dreams of some of the backstories that have been given to them. So apparently he's, though, an extremely loyal host to Anthony Hopkins' character Ford. And they have used him to get close to this head board member for the Delos Corporation, I believe is what it's called. And they put her down. They get rid of her because they're basically looking to this corporation that helps own the park realizes that Ford's kind of off his rocker. He's using a ton of company money to basically demolish a large portion of this park and create a new narrative that he wants to tell. He's not told anybody what it is. He's just kind of going off on his own little tangent.
Right. He's like, I'm just going to do this.
And so the company, we're finding out, has been smuggling out code back to their headquarters so that when they somehow, however they plan on doing it, whenever they get rid of Ford, they're not left with nothing because they think he's going to basically kill switch the place. And they need to have this code so they can kind of rebuild it from the ground up if he does that. So he finds out this is what's going on, obviously, because he's close to Bernard, who's in a lot of these conversations with Teresa, and they kill her.
Well, and the scary thing is no one. She's the only one that knows that he's a host. Well, her and Anthony Hopkins.
She didn't know.
Right, but she knows. She right before her death, she found out or whatever. So she's like, "Well, wait a minute. What about the who does Anthony Hopkins play? Ford. He's like, oh, the feelings that you were showing each other and the Intimacy. Thank you. God, I was gonna say sex, but I was trying to keep it a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. And she's like, well, he does that too. So, but you started that. That's all you. So I wonder how many other hosts are in this little design team. Like, you've got hosts designing hosts. That's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he became, like, maybe he knew underneath it all that he was a host. And that's why he became so involved with Dolores. And you see him, like, questioning Dolores about events and really kind of wondering their...
I don't think he knew, though, because, like, when Ford was talking to Teresa, he kind of was, you could see him stuttering or whatever. He's like, well, my son, my wife, and he goes, yes, you have a backstory. And he's like, this can't be. And he was, like, completely, like...
And you feel bad for him because Bernard's a very likable character.
Oh, yeah.
Very mild-mannered. It seems like he really, takes an interest in the hosts.
I wonder if Ford was kind of training Bernard to be his successor.
Possibly.
But how would that work? Because, like, if that happened,
get up, we're going out.
Like, what happens if he gets? Obviously he's extremely intelligent and self-aware, and like, because he's programming other hosts and things like that. Like,
also Totino's stuffed nachos.
I don't know how that works. He wouldn't age. Like, so he would just live on forever. So, like, is that how the human race ends? We just write ourselves out of existence by creating these hosts? Are you a host? Are you a human? So, anyway. The great episode. Awesome episode. On a side note, I see that Westworld got the thumbs up and funding for season 2, which should be coming in 2018. Which is kind of sad that it's so far away.
I know.
But 2017 is right around the corner.
So we've got a whole nother
over a year to go. Yeah, but I'm glad that it got signed on for another season. I think with Game of Thrones coming to a close, they really need another blockbuster hit, and I think they've nailed it with this one. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm kind of curious, and my dad brought up the fact that there's other parks. I wonder if they'll make reference to the other parks in this series at all. I mean, it might not be something they jump to right away, but like as a way to kind of revitalize the viewer base and the popularity. I don't know. We'll see. So, you have anything you want to talk about with that last with Westworld or Walking Dead?
I don't think so.
Anything you're looking forward to over Black Friday?
Honestly, I was looking more at the ads for the kids stuff.
Yeah.
Other than our own things.
What were you looking up? Just out of curiosity.
Anything that was on sale for kids. What is the best deal for kids stuff this year? So
I'll tell you one thing that's going to be a hot ticket item is that Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, the original?
The original. I mean, it's hard. It's already hard to find, but it's going to be. I think that's going to be a big Christmas item as well. So,
yeah.
I want to see the. Let's see here. What was it? It was called the Nintendo Entertainment System, right? Or Nintendo Mini? Nintendo Mini?
I don't know. Anyway,
I'm kind of curious to see.
Kinda flying by the seat of our pants here.
Yeah, it looks like on Amazon has got it going for $220.
What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it supposed to be selling for way cheaper?
Yeah, it's supposed to be selling for $49.99. But since it's so hard to find. I mean, this is just like the Wii when it launched. You know, the Wii. They had. Remember when we bought our Wii, we got noticed while we were in the store at Walmart that they had one, and you ran and said, "I want one." They only had 2 or something like that. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, like it's exactly the same thing. So like stores were getting very limited supply. I know one of my friends online here in the Dayton area said he went to Meijer on Wilmington and they only got 3.
Wow.
Right. And basically what's ended up happening is they've got a waiting list now. So when some come in, they don't even go to the shelves anymore. They just call those people and say, "Okay, hey, we got it. You're going to come and pick it up. You got 24 hours or whatever." So it's going to be a huge ticket item. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, really appreciate you guys watching episode 199. We will not be back next week. We're going to take a week off just for the holidays, kind of get some stuff in line, and then we'll be back for episode 200. The
200.
200.
You're retarded.
You're retarded. 200 the week after Thanksgiving. So we'll be back that Wednesday at roughly 8 p.m. Like I said, top of the show, really do appreciate you guys watching. The guys on Facebook Live, really, you guys thumbs up. The guys that are watching on twitch.tv/BC Podcast, thanks for watching. People in the future that are watching on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/72DPI online. You guys rock. Make sure you head over there. Make sure everybody heads over there. Gives us a thumbs up. Gives us subscribe to the channel so you can see when we go live. And yeah, we really do appreciate it. Leave a comment in the comment section. We like that kind of thing. We kind of do.
We do?
Yeah, all 10s of you. We do. All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.